Okay, Khalifire is a creator. I like to see myself as a creator. I create music, I create art, I write too, and I really love stories. So I tell stories through my music, and I talk about life, I talk about experiences, I talk about love, and I talk about God. Okay, so most people don't know this, but I used to be a dancer. Yeah, at some point in my life, I was a dancer. But one night, I went for a dance rehearsals in my church then at Kogi State University, Anigba, Royal Church, and the church had a all-night rehearsal for social nights. That's what we call it. And then in that night, I saw 3 rappers that came and then they rapped, and I was so inspired. I was like, I could do this. And prior to then, my elder brother, Ogbe Andy, usually played Lecrae, all this, That Truth and these guys, so that puts that rap background. And then I went back to the hostel that night, Dangana Hostel, the top floor of the hostel, and then I started writing and writing. The first stuff I wrote were not so good, but then I kept on improving, and then I was very sure from that night that I want to do rap, and then I feel like I can do well at it. So I started practicing, and then that's how I started. Okay, the challenges that I've faced with this sort of music for me has been that anytime that my faith is not in sync, in alignment, it affects every other part of my life, especially music. And for a long time, I've not put out music for like 2 years. On the 23rd of May would make it exactly 2 years that I put out my last project. And that's because in this moment, I've been on a discovery journey. Like, my faith has been in ups and downs. I've been learning, I've been growing, and also I've not wanted to put out stuff that I'm not sincere with. I don't want to just put out music, because. And so I follow the leading of God. So my major challenge has been my faith. Whenever my faith is shaky, it affects other aspects of my life and music. So, but whenever I'm in sync and in alignment, which I believe I am in right now, it just flows. So as a Christian creative, my number one challenge is always staying, what is God saying? Am I really in alignment? Am I like doing what he wants me to do? Am I in sync? So once I get that sync question, every other challenge that seems like a challenge just melts, as long as I'm in alignment. So yeah, I don't. When it comes to music, I don't experience self-doubt when I write anything. I'm always confident because I know the source that it came from. I know that it's not me, like when it comes to creating music. But when it comes to general life in general, I seem like a very pretty confident guy, but I experience self-doubt a lot, imposter syndrome. I ask myself. So in my church here, the Supernatural Life Church, there's one thing that we usually end service with is the grace, how we share the grace. Surely, 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 surely. And then there's a rap verse that I rap on almost every Sunday. And I kid you not, I do that almost week in, week out, but almost every week before I go up to that stage, I have to encourage myself, motivate myself that, guy, you can do this. You've done this more than 100 times. So I experienced that self-doubt in aspects of my life, and then I just remind myself of who I am. And to be very serious, before this interview set up, before I came back here, I experienced that same thing. And whenever I do that, I just run back to God in prayer, and then I remind myself of who I am and then why I'm really doing all this for. So yes, but when it comes to music and the art, when I'm putting out music, when I'm writing, when I'm done writing, because I know it's not my song, I'm just a vessel through which the song is coming out. I'm not doubting anything. I'm just going with it. I quit my job in January, in December, and from January, I've just been actively focused on creating music. And one of the first songs that I did, I wrote this song a long time ago, but I got to record it in January. It's called Die Empty, and the song just addresses this whole phase that I've been in. This whole, do I want to really let go of all this potential because I'm stuck and comfortable with a number of things, or do I want to express it till the end? And I've come to that realization that I would rather die empty than die full. I have a lot of potential, and I believe that almost everybody like that you see on the street has it. Brian Tracy wrote in his book that the average man has so much potential, potential of 2,000 people, but they never almost get to see that. So I don't want to. I know that I might never be able to exhaust 100% of all the potential that I have, but I want to do my best in exhausting that positively. So that's where Die Empty comes from. And it's really a letter to the creative out there that is in the shoes that I once was. Do you really want to die empty? Like, you have giftings, you have rap, you used to write, you used to sing, you used to do a lot of things, but right now, what do you want to do with that? So that's the motive behind Die Empty and why I wrote it. Okay, so the release date is on the 23rd of May. That's in a few days' time. And we're going to be pushing out content, videos. So, I'm just making this announcement so that, I get support. I already have support from my community around, but I want it to go global. And I want to reach out to every creative out there, to send this reminder. Do you want to die empty, or would you rather die full? Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at One Spirit Khalifire. I also have Khalifire Music, which is strictly music. And then on Facebook, Khalifire, Pure Khalifire. On TikTok, Khalifire. Unfortunately, I'm not on Twitter, X, due to personal reasons. So you can't find me there. You will never find me there, in Jesus' name. So I'm not on X currently, but Facebook, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. What else? LinkedIn too. LinkedIn, I'm on my official name, Daniel Moses Obu, so that they are not confused. Yeah, so that's what's up. Hello, I wrote this song for you. Do you want to go to the grave with all that you have? We both know that you have a lot of talent, you have a lot of skill, you have a lot of potential, but you've not been using it lately. You've been stuck. And therefore, I wrote this song to ask you a question and to remind you also. Would you want to die full, or would you rather die empty? It's an amazing piece of art that seeks to remind you of the essence of what you have, just in case you're forgotten. I can't wait for you to hear this music. I can't wait to share this art with you. Peace. Or would you want to die full? Me, I want to die.